try something different today. Let's rank every single village in Naruto, and not only by their military strength and the power of their ninjas, but how good will it be to live in any of these given villages. So everything is going to be taken into account for this ranking, like how well they live, their location, how cool their village looks, how powerful their ninjas are, and all kinds of stuff. Beginning with the Cloud Village. And I have to be honest, this one goes in S tier because, well, the ninjas in the Cloud Village, they look very powerful. Usually only the Kage and 2 more ninjas at most look powerful in any given village, except from Konoha, but the Cloud Village is the other exception because they still have very strong ninjas. They have B, they have Darui, they have Shi, they have Yugito, they have Omoi, Darui, Samui. I said Darui already, but Atsui. They have all sorts of people, so they are very powerful. They also have 2 Jinchurikis, which gives them more firepower as well. But their firepower is not the only thing that plays into their hand when we're choosing the rankings. Because if you think about it, the Cloud Village is kind of nice to their Jinchurikis. Sure, B kind of suffered a little bit when he was a kid, but it seemed like they treated their Jinchurikis much better than they did in Konoha, than they treated Naruto, so I have to commend them. Also, the Cloud Village is set in a very cool location with those buildings on those rocks and all that. It's a great view from up there, so yeah, it's a great village. The Grass Village. I don't know anything about the Grass Village other than the guy or girl Orochimaru takes over was from there. Yeah. I don't think there's any Akatsuki in the Grass Village. Maybe Zetsu. No, just kidding. But I don't think there's any Akatsuki there, so that's not really a village we know too much about, which is unfortunate, so I'll have to put it in D tier. They are not very prominent in the universe, which kind of indicates they're not very powerful either, so yeah. They go there, D tier. Okay, the Hot Spring Village. This is the village of Hidan, and we also don't know much about it. We know they made Hidan one of the weirdest, most insane guys in the entire world, but every village has their rotten fruit, if I may say so. But this is the Hot Spring Village, so I have to imagine it's a very good place for you to spend your time in the hot spring, just maybe trying to peep on some, nice girls like Naruto likes to do, and a very relaxing place. We don't know if they have strong military, but I'll just give them a B tier because, hot springs are cool. Even though they're hot and my skin is sensitive, I imagine the ninjas in the Naruto world would have enjoyed it. The Mist Village. So their military is not bad. Of course, they are one of the 5 main villages, but their methods are terrible, especially during the Blood Mist, because, well, they essentially make one student kill another student for them to graduate the academy, which essentially cuts their strength in half for the entire duration of the Mist Village. Sure, they were under the influence of Obito because he was controlling the 4th Mizukage, so it wasn't really their fault, but that made them less powerful than they could have been. You could argue that these methods make the shinobi there stronger, but I disagree. I don't think that's a very smart way to go about building your military strength. Also, just imagine living there in a place that, you're forced to kill your best friend to graduate the academy. That's terrible. It's horrible. I wouldn't want to do that. Sure, Mei improved things there after she took over as the Mizukage, but no. I'll just give it a C tier because they have a decent power with their ninjas, but just living there would be terrible. Also, the weather, it's always misty, foggy. Yeah, no thanks. Okay, the Leaf Village. This, of course, goes at the top of S tier because it's the Leaf Village. It's by far the strongest village in the entire world, and by a long long margin because they have the Uchiha clan, which is mostly dead, but still, and they also have plenty of other very powerful shinobi. They won every single great war, so they are essentially extremely powerful, and they also have Kurama. The Leaf Village is also very nice. It's a great place. It looks very welcoming. I like the Hokage stone statues. They are a very interesting sight that show the power of the Hokage and also respect for them. The weather in the Leaf Village seems to by far be the nicest among all the villages, and I also like their architecture. I like the way the village is put together. It's much better looking than any of the other 5 main villages, just because the other villages, they look very bland, kind of. They're just stone or sand or mist or whatever. Only the Cloud Village is cool, but I don't think it's as cool as the Leaf Village. Sure, the Leaf Village may have been racist towards Naruto because he was a Jinchuriki in the beginning, but they got over it, and now they're pretty good. So yeah, and by the way, I'm not counting Boruto because the Mist Village is apparently really good in Boruto, but who cares about Boruto? So anyway, yeah. Leaf Village, by far the best village. I would want to live there if I were to live in the Naruto world, for sure. And they seem to be the ones who take best care of their military, of their young ninjas, of everything. So yeah, by far S tier, best guys. The Rain Village. So the Rain Village is not terribly powerful. They have Pain, which, don't get me wrong, he is extremely powerful as their quote-unquote Kage, but their military is not too strong as far as we can tell. They lost many wars to the greater nations, which is understandable because the greater nations will have more people, but I'll have to put them in A tier because their village looks so damn cool. The buildings made of those metal pipes, they're steampunk-ish, so they're just amazing to look at. It's a great village. It gives you just those amazing landscapes. Though, if you were to live there, you would live in constant rain, which is not something too pleasant. I guess I wouldn't want to live in a place that doesn't stop raining for a single second unless Pain wants to stop the rain. But yeah, I guess A tier is fair just because it looks so cool and Pain is pretty powerful. The Sand Village. Okay, we'll have to do something for the Sand Village here. Just hold on. How do I add? Okay, here. Let's add a row below. So we're gonna have to add this new row. Yeah, I'll have to create this new special tier for the Sand Village because, man, the Sand Village sucks. I mean, just look at it. It's just sand. They eat sand for breakfast. There's no water. There are no rivers. I don't know how they cultivate those plants that Sakura uses to create the antidote for Kankuro because there's no water. It's crazy. I wouldn't want to live there if they paid me to. Also, all the buildings in the Sand Village look the same. It's essentially a bunch of sand buildings in a crater in the desert. Not a pleasant place to live. It's probably extremely hot there. I wouldn't want to live there. And their military is by far the weakest among all the 5 great nations. I mean, just be real with me. They attacked Konoha, and they were like, oh yes, we're gonna destroy Konoha with the help of Orochimaru, and then essentially Orochimaru just killed their Kaze Kage without them even realizing. How incompetent are you? And then they had to go for Konoha for help. Please, we're sorry, we didn't want to betray you. It was Orochimaru who did it, and Tsunade was kind enough to accept their apology, but they essentially are a puppet state of Konoha and the Land of Fire as far as I can tell. So yeah, they're not very powerful, and their place would be a terrible place to live in. Okay, what village is this? The Snow Village or something? Is that from a movie? A filler movie or something? I don't know. I don't know about this village, so I'll have to put it with the Grass Village. The Sound Village. So I never really understood the Sound Village. Is it an actual village or just one of Orochimaru's hideouts? Because we never saw the Sound Village proper. We just see Orochimaru's labs, and I would have to imagine at some point we would get to see the Sound Village. Orochimaru did have plenty of ninjas when they attacked Konoha, so maybe he trained plenty of them. We also don't know if the Sound Village was something that existed before Orochimaru came in, and if Orochimaru just took over the place, or if Orochimaru just founded it, which, now that I think about it, it seems less likely, because Orochimaru left the Leaf Village 5 or 6 years before he attacked for the Chunin exams, or 10 years or something like that, so it wasn't that long before he attacked. So could he have founded an entire village filled with trained ninjas that are Chunin level in 10 years? Like an entire city? Maybe it's a very small village, but maybe the village was there all along and Orochimaru just took over, killing the previous leaders and overtaking the military for himself so he can use for his evil plans. We don't know how powerful they actually are. They have Orochimaru, but Orochimaru is never there apparently because he's always in one of his hideouts. So it's a very strange place. Maybe we can make a video later to discuss and try to find out more about it. I'll just put it in C tier now because Orochimaru probably knows what he is doing, but anyway. Okay, the Stone Village. I'll put them in B tier. You know, they are powerful, sure. They have the Tsuchikage Onoki, which knows particle style, which is very underrated. That's an extremely powerful jutsu. But Onoki, he didn't really have the best policies for their ninjas. I mean, sure, he gave them the order not to engage Minato and flee on sight, but then he sends 1,000 ninjas into the war to die against Minato. Great job, man. Also, the Tsuchikage used the Akatsuki a lot before they became prominent Jinchuriki hunters, which is not a good thing. Also, the Stone Village doesn't look very good, it looks really bland. It's just a bunch of literally stone buildings. But I guess there would be worse places to live in, and their military could be much weaker. The Waterfall Village. This is Kakuzu's village, and we saw that in a movie, I believe. But, well, it's a movie, so it's not canon, but it looked pretty nice in the movie. It was, I think, if I can remember it correctly, in the middle of a massive forest or a massive tree or something like that. But I'm gonna put them in A tier just because they gave Kakuzu the mission to go and kill Hashirama. I mean, Kakuzu deserves that. He deserves to be treated like shit because he's a piece of shit. So yeah, just tell him to go kill Hashirama so he can just get stomped. I mean, just imagine that fight. The funniest thing you'd ever see Kakuzu trying to take on Hashirama. Hashirama just flicks his finger and kills Kakuzu. He was probably hitting the guy, that's why he didn't kill him. Hashirama should be like, oh man, I'm so sorry they did this to you, but that's just an alpha move. Just, yeah man, you suck, just go kill Hashirama. And now, I guess we have all these filler villages. I'll just put them in D tier because I literally don't know any of them. I guess the Star Village is from that filler. They not hunt, but they go to this village where there's a meteor, but I don't remember because I think I only watched one episode and I don't like filler whatsoever. But that's the ranking. Like this video and comment below if you agree with my takes on those villages. Thanks for watching.